Hi, podcast time. David Wheatley's podcast, episode 24. The topic is vacations. How can we go from the content of number 23 into 24? It's been suggested that it would be a good idea to have each episode have its own topic, which makes me bristle because I like to go from one topic to the next as they occur to me. However, today is going to be almost entirely about vacations until we jump on some tangents, but I'm going to tie them all into vacations. You just say, vacations are a reward for hard work. It's a way people measure how other people are doing, how often they get to go, how far they get to go. And ideally, the vacations are a fulfillment of a life goal, usually to explore, period. I've noticed that when I call up companies and ask for a particular person, that their coworkers are very protective of that person's right, I'll say fundamental right to go on vacation. The vacationer's email address or phone number are not provided, and the attitude is, hey, mister, whoever you are, you need to back off. Our colleague is getting a much needed and much deserved, well-deserved vacation, and it needs to be protected. The automated reply function is activated on the emails. Some people activate that, but they still check them. I have been envious in the past of people that work in a big enough company that they actually have colleagues who can fill in. As a self-employed entrepreneur, I've not had that as much. I think it will be a joy and a measure of success to have sufficient automation that the bots can answer any inquiries. Some self-employed people don't even say that they're on vacation because they don't want anybody to know that they're out of town, otherwise known as splitting all the time, as a trumpet player said. So they keep it secret, and out of concern that the caller will find somebody else and go with them instead forever. All right, just pausing to think about all this. I particularly like going to Western Europe. I particularly like London and Paris. In fact, I could probably just go there numerous times forever, and that would be fine. There are some other cities I would like to go to. Anything in Switzerland that I've ever heard of, where they have Swiss Army knives and Swiss cheese and numbered Swiss bank accounts, although I don't have one. And Swiss anything. Multiple languages. Neutrality. I'd like to be in the middle of neutrality, see if it actually holds up. I'd like to go to Germany and visit some cities there. They've got a lot of small towns, and almost every town has an orchestra. I'd like to go and play the organ that Bach played on. I think you can do it if you pay an hourly fee. It's true, they have to maintain the organ, and a lot of people want to play. So I have to find out how to do that. I wonder if it's available online. Just go and sign up, like we sign up for podcast time, sign up for Bach organ time, Bachcast time. Woo. And each of these places has its own culture, and there have been extant examples of that in the form of books, photographs, books to Hudas. But to actually go there and see the people that are descendants of people that have gone on before that helped to create this culture is quite awesome. So more of those. I've not done anything on the Pacific Rim, that is on the Asian community side, except to enjoy the company and conversation with people who are from these countries who've come to the United States, generally second generation, not so much with the first generation, just the way it's worked out. Australia and New Zealand, all the Commonwealth countries. I have a particularly affinity for them, mainly because of the language and because when I was studying geography in elementary school and they'd pull the map down with the Greenland being this giant thing because they put it on paper instead of three-dimensional, that all the countries in pink on the map were Commonwealth countries, colonized and invested in by the UK, by England, supplied by, governed by, systematized by them. Almost all of those countries have been able to separate themselves from the mothership, presumably taking all the investments and taking them over and deciding that they all belong to the colony, which doesn't seem exactly right on an investment standpoint, but that's what's happened. Just goes to show if you're going to invest in something. And talking about overlays, remember a few episodes ago we talked about the city of LA and the transparencies and the overhead projector. There could be an overlay of the entire world that shows which countries invested in which other plots of land, you could call them colonies or other soon-to-be countries, and which ones really paid off, which ones were worth investing in, and how difficult it was at the time to maintain control over something that was so far away. The supply lines could run thin. We're having supply chain challenges now, wondering if partly that's being done to increase the prices of things by saying there are shortages, or maybe they're legitimate. When we look out into the Pacific Ocean from the coast of California, a few miles out, we see tankers lined up with their containers piled high. Makes me wonder how they even make it across the Pacific with storms. But I guess there's insurance for that. Boy, have I digressed into storms. But still, the storms of life will tie it in more, emotional upsets and physical upsets. But a lot of this can be predicted. And so, see if I can bring this back. Vacations, where to go? I think firsthand experience is really, really important. I think it can be difficult to get beyond the what they call tourist traps or tourist presentations into what's really going on in a community. But I find taxi drivers are the key. When you ask them what's going on in this town, they're happy to fill you in. Or Uber drivers, not as much. Taxi drivers seem to have it in their heritage to talk more, just my experience. So that would suggest if you really want to explore a place, the best solution is to ride in as many taxis as possible, ideally all day long for the first couple of days. For the tourist version, the sightseeing buses are a must. They hop on, hop off, and ideally find out if there are multiple routes and where each route number or letter or name stops so you get on the right one. Sometimes they just roar right by you and say, hey, came all the way here from wherever, and you're not picking me up. Cognitive dissonance, they're supposed to pick me up, they didn't. Irritation. And the best way to deal with that is have a latte. So vacations. I think the younger generations, millennials and related, are putting a higher value on experiences than maybe other people. I think retirees, more and more of them are happy to sit in a lazy boy chair and watch TV shows and just kick back and live out their days. Adding weight, getting health problems, and then calling it a day, or calling it a life. But I support the going for it to the last possible moment, exploring with the intensity of curiosity and getting answers to these questions, and to believe that they are all within reach. At a minimum, internet searches, and at the best, going to the actual places and talking to the people that are there. Surprisingly, they're, in many countries especially, very interested in talking to us. So we're going to keep that going. All right, how are we doing for time? Okay, so vacations, more of them, get deals, frequent flyer miles, even if you think you're just going to fly an obscure airline one time, sign up for their program. Sometimes the miles are transferable. You never know. If you really like that city or place, you'll end up going again and again, and then you get a free flight or a discount. Or you get to get some almonds or Hershey bar with almonds, bars with almonds. Oh, I was so close to rolling that out. And with that said, I'll do the usual ending, which is thank you for listening. Subscribe if you like. Even if you don't like, go ahead and subscribe. Hit the like button. Doesn't take long. Helps the algorithm. And what else? Yes, David Wheatley 10 at Gmail. Maybe let me know your favorite vacation place or somewhere that you've always wanted to go. That'd be nice to hear that. Patreon.com. Send us dough so we can fly to all these cool places and tell you about them and to support this important work. With that, I thank you very much, and we'll look forward to the next episode. All right, bye for now.